Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to be here. I have to say that I would, of course, much rather this be in person. My former Create Cultivate conferences are some of my absolute favorite memories of building this brand along on this journey. And this seems a little different, but we're going to do it. We're going to go there and talk all things SPF this morning. Where's everybody from? I would love to hear in the chat box, and we're going to do a Q&A at the end. So anybody that has specific questions, I think definitely click on the Q&A box and give me the questions, because I'm going to save some time at the end to talk. I really want to be helpful to everybody. I mean, when I think about Create Cultivate, I'm always inspired by how many women in the room that are just doing cool things. And I think, I've been on this journey building Supergoop for, 16 years now. And if I can help in any way, or if you have specific questions, I certainly want to take time at the end of our all things SPF to really, zero in on all of the questions. So please use the Q&A box, because that's where I'm going to jump in. And then, of course, using the chat box is great too. I see a lot of people from Canada and Virginia and Maryland, and hello from Texas. That is where I'm actually at our ranch. If you notice, my shirt is SPF. Yeah. Out here with the kiddos this weekend, enjoying a long weekend before Christmas. Doing all the things that we love to do outside. And, certainly Supergoop is one of those brands that is inspired by living a bright life and getting outside and enjoying the sunshine, just showing respect for it. So yeah, hello to everybody. Oh, from California. We've got quite a few joining. Well, I'm going to jump right in. And I think, so that we have time for a Q&A at the end, I thought I'd start by just really talking about what inspired me to change the way the world thinks about sunscreen. I think, and I mentioned 16 years I've been on this journey creating this brand, which is, for the most part, helping everyone everywhere, every single day, get SPF into your daily routine. We're always a brand that's believed in being inclusive of every skin type and color and tone. And, I really started on this journey after a friend of mine was diagnosed with skin cancer. And I think, I looked at the industry. My parents are entrepreneurs. They always taught us to look for the white space and things. And this was in 2000 and two, three. And I saw an incredibly sleepy category. There was no innovation whatsoever in the world of SPF. It was very much a race to high SPF numbers. And when you looked at the category, it was distorted heavily in the summer months. It was very seasonal. And I was chit-chatting with a good friend of mine who was a college roommate, and she was at the time going through her residency in dermatology. And she said, Holly, it's not about the sun. It's not about the summer sun. And she said, it's really that every single day, little bit of cumulative exposure that over time turns into skin cancer. For most people, it doesn't happen until you're in your 60s. But for your friend, it happened at age 29. And, I just was like, my gosh, you mean we should be wearing sunscreen every single day? And she said, yes. And when I looked at the category, it was so sleepy that there was like awful options. There were no beautiful, like we have today, luxurious glow oils or body butter or, all of these. And my mind started racing and thinking about different ways in which we could slip SPF into everyone's skincare routine every single day. And so, for me, it's interesting because I always say, and I think I come back to this for this audience in particular, because there's so many women doing super cool things. And I believe that there's something really important to be said about building a successful brand. I always say that it takes product and passion, people and purpose. And all four of these have really different times to shine, I think, in in the journey. Of course, at Supergoop, um, the product is our purpose. It was this early insight that in order to stop a cancer epidemic, innovation in product was needed. And so we're a real problem solving brand, always have been. And then, of course, I think it takes passion, of course. So, um, literally passion to where I think you can't even sleep at night, because building something truly meaningful isn't like filling a bucket with water. It's drip by drip by drip, and it takes that perseverance and grit. And of course, I can't give enough credit to the people now on our team, many of which have been with us, from the get-go. But really, it wasn't until about 4 or 5 years ago that we really started putting the emphasis on building people on the team. For so many years, I poured every single dollar into product and innovation in SPF and creating game-changing new ways to do SPF that have just like never been done before. And I think that's all four of those: product, passion, people, and purpose all have a different time in everyone's journey to shine a spotlight on the work that you're doing every single day. And that's really been some of, I'm often asked, like, what really moved the needle for you. And I think definitely in the last 5 years, putting a team in place that is incredibly good at what they do. All, while I've done all of their jobs at one point in time, um, they're all much more talented in that work that they're doing, than I ever was. And that's really important to making the true SPF magic happen. And I think, oftentimes, um, when you're trying to change the way the world thinks about a category or something, you have to really identify what's needed at that very given moment in time to to you know truly, like, make things happen. And I mean, for the last 16 years, I've been completely obsessed with SPF. I literally dream about it. I'm excited to come here today and talk with each and every one of you about the category and hopefully inspire everyone here today to build a wardrobe of SPF. Because when you think about it, and I often say this, like, there's a cancer epidemic, right? 1 in 5 people are diagnosed in this country with skin cancer, but it's primarily preventable from a magic thing called SPF. And so when you think about cancers, and breast cancer runs in my family actually, and there's like 25 things I can do to reduce my risk of breast cancer. And I still will, I believe I probably will still get breast cancer. but with skin cancer, 90% of the signs of aging and for the most part, skin cancer comes from something that's primarily preventable, and it's with this magic lotion SPF. So I think, that's what I love about what we're doing, is we're creating super innovative ways to get it into everyone's routine every single day. And we're thinking about everyone's skin lifestyle, skin type, skin color, skin tone, um, because we know that what's right for my skin may not be right for yours, and yours not your mother's, and your mother's not your brother's. So I think, we have 40 options now, and we're still, I always say, can't stop, won't stop. We have so many different ways to get it into your routine every single day that hopefully, what we will see in 20, 30, 40 years is that 1 in 5 number will change to 1 in 25, and change to 1 in 250, and 1 in 2000. So if we all embrace this idea of wearing SPF every single day. So I think what the Create Cultivate team wanted me to also focus on in our time together in our workshop is, like, first things first, what is SPF? Well, to Supergoop, SPF means UVA, UVB, infrared radiation, which is just the heat rays that even come from your blow dryer, and blue light protection, which for Supergoop, we believe that damage that happens when you're looking at your computer, when you're looking at your your phone, which of course in this year of the pandemic has been more than any of us ever thought we would be. It's protection from that. And those are the things that cause inflammation to our skin. They cause uneven skin tone. They cause lines, wrinkles, everything we literally don't like about our skin happens because of the broad spectrum of UV rays and blue light and pollution and infrared radiation. All of these things. For me, I've always felt that skincare is not truly caring for your skin if it's not protecting from these fundamental things. So going one step further, you have the difference in mineral and chemical sunscreens. And I've always believed that if there's benefits to both. In fact, I often layer both mineral and chemical. I think you get some of the broadest range of protection from the use of both mineral and chemical sunscreens. But I've always believed that the controversial raw ingredients in chemical formulas should be left out. We were actually in 2004, we were the first SPF ever in this world to formulate without the use of oxybenzone. It actually came from a very selfish perspective. My mother's a breast cancer, I mentioned, survivor, and I knew that oxybenzone was found in breast cancer tissue. So I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm certainly going to develop a formula without these controversial ingredients. And then there was a little longer list at the time: chemical fragrances, propylene glycol, some other things were also on my no list. But ever since, that list has grown and grown and grown. And we're now very proud of our list of ingredients. I see somebody asked about Ava Benzone in the chat box, and Ava Benzone is not linked to skin cancer. I'm sorry, other forms of cancer. And actually, if you don't use oxybenzone in a chemical formula, it's required that you have Ava Benzone in order to have broad spectrum. And broad spectrum is, again, so important because you have to have the protection from the UVA and the UVB. Without that, the UVB is responsible for those burning rays that actually change the color of your skin. The UVA rays are much deeper penetrating and actually more conducive to causing skin cancer. So there's only two chemical raw ingredients that are allowed to run the monograph. One is Ava Benzone, one is oxybenzone. So I hope that sort of clears up that oxybenzone is also, in addition to potentially cancer causing, it's also the #1 most rated irritating ingredient. And I think that kind of goes back to pre-2004, when every chemical formula had oxybenzone in it. Sunscreens had this terrible reputation, right? They were, and I'm sure many of you are younger on this chat, but oxybenzone is the #1 most irritating ingredient, and that's why sunscreens typically had that negative reputation of like itching, irritating, and burning the skin, and causing other problems associated. So I think it's important to realize there's a time and a place, and oftentimes for my routine, I mentioned layering and building a wardrobe that starts with, for me, right at the moment, our newest launch, Daily Dose, because I know the benefits of vitamin C. We have Daily Dose SPF 40 Serum, and I start with that one. Post cleansing, I love to use the Tatcha cleansing oil, and then they have an essence as a toner. But then I go right to Daily Dose SPF 40 vitamin C, and then I layer on one of our beauty base layers. And I always say that depending on how you prefer the finish of your routine of your face, you're either team matte screen, unseen, or glow screen. And those are all three. You would never use them together, but they're all three beautiful makeup gripping primers that, depending on the finish that you want. Unseen has like this completely undetectable finish. It literally checks the box of everything you don't like about your SPF. Matte screen is a little bit more pore minimizing and gives your face a more matte finish. And then I think, what everyone's really enjoyed this year is Glow Screen, because it gives you this like dewy, glowy finish on Zoom that is truly beautiful. So I think sometimes for me on the weekends, I tend to use Unseen Sunscreen, and on the weekdays I use Glow Screen. And then, on days where I want to benefit from a more matte finish, I choose Matte Screen. And then I follow that up with, and I like have more SPF in my routine than should be allowed, but I also enjoy Bright Eyed, because I think, the number one place that dermatologists look for skin cancers is around the eye area, which is no shock because the skin is much thinner around the eye area. And if you think about it, that's one of the first places that we see signs of aging is around the eyes and the lips. And so it's so super important to have SPF protection around the eye area. So I layer in Bright Eyed SPF 40, which also gives the benefit of this like more luminous finish that I think is really nice. And then I go on to CC Screen to sort of even out the skin tone. I see someone in the chat box said they love the Everyday Play SPF 50. That's definitely one for me. When you're going outside, I play tennis and I love to be outside running. And, Everyday Play is just that like really super lightweight multitasker that the real benefit here, and when you think about it, is having options. And I think that that's the one perspective that Supergoop has that no other skincare brand has understood the importance of having options for all of the different activities and things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And so I think when we think about SPF being essential for every single day, not just about your time at the beach and not just about your time do in sports and interacting, you have to have options. And I saw it in the chat also, someone mentioned glow stick. I mean, I'm obsessed with glow stick. I think, glow oil was my earlier launch, and I literally step out of the shower and put I put body butter on first, and then I layer on glow oil because I love the finish that it gives my face and or my body. I like shiny, young, youthful looking, hydrated, moisturized skin. And so I think that that's always when you can layer on sort of a 1-2 punch with formulas that feel amazing on the skin and keep the skin looking much younger. It's always been sort of my go-to is just like finding those products and that work well together and creating ways to get SPF into your routine every single day. So we've always thought about things that are from a real problem solution. And I think I've often said, if you're not solving a problem, then why bother? And for me, each and every one of our launches along the way has solved a problem, whether it's how do I reapply my SPF right over a full face of makeup? And hello, Defense Refresh makeup setting mist. Or like I mentioned, Daily Dose is now my current obsession. But very few people realize that if you're applying vitamin C and you're not putting SPF on, it's actually photo incinerating the minute you walk outside because vitamin C is not stable without SPF. So I think it's super important to sort of look at what the problems are in your life, and then that's what we're here for, is to help everyone have solutions to that. And so I think with that, I mean, like I could literally talk about SPF in my sleep. I dream about it, and I just want to be of help to you guys. So I want to leave as much time here as we can. I'm going to look at the Q&A box and take a few of the questions, because I think there's nothing better than helping other entrepreneurs, really inspiring you guys to continue on your journey to changing whatever it is you're so passionate about. Okay, so Allison asked, what was the process like to find the right formula? I love your Supergoop formula. Well, for me, and I wasn't from the beauty industry 16 years ago, and I think that that's a great question. For me, it was a lot about just like Googling around. I found that there was a national sunscreen symposium where all of these expert chemists talked. And I went to every single one of them. And I had this conversation. The challenge for me was, how do we create a chemical formula without oxybenzone or chemical fragrances? Because I knew both were potentially irritating to the skin, and that could be the reason behind why SPF had such a bad reputation. And so I literally just geeked out on talking to chemists and getting anybody that would listen to me on the phone and saying, how do we do this? How do we create a chemical formula that's not controversial? And and then it was like, well, when I finally found the right one that was up for the challenge, he said, make a list of your wish list. And I made a literally long list. My dad's a golfer, and I had things like it couldn't affect his grip on the golf club. And I mean, just like ridiculous, whatever I would want in a dream SPF. And we started going back and forth with formulas. And it was a pretty couple of year process, but I think all good, meaningful things do take time. And I would also say to everyone on this that, if you're not willing to put the time in, nothing truly, truly magic is going to happen. So, enjoy the ride and enjoy putting in the time, and realize that truly, truly meaningful things only happen by putting in that time. Okay, so an anonymous person said, I'm looking to improve my daily SPF routine. If I were starting from scratch from Supergoop, which 3 items would you recommend and why? Okay, so it's hard. It's like picking a favorite child. But I will say I have 2 paths for this. I'm in a parallel path. For body, there is a 2-step routine that is just like a absolute must. Body butter SPF 40 all over right when you get out of the shower, and then mist our glow oil, or if you like the convenience of the glow stick, it's the same benefits for both. So that your body is nice, protected, so that when you take a walk outside, or you walk to get your mail, or whatever you're doing outside, your body's protected. That's the key to truly youthful skin. For face, daily dose SPF 40 right after toning, followed up by one of our beauty base layers. I would say, actually, and if your skin's really dry, Super Screen is a really good step. Sometimes it's not needed because daily dose gives enough hydration, but Super Screen is just a real lightweight moisturizer. So if you have dry skin, I would insert that. And then choose either unseen matte screen or glow screen, depending on if you want an unseen, undetectable finish, a more matte finish, or a more glowy, dewy finish. And then finish up with a little bit of CC screen to cover up any imperfections or any blemishes. And then have something handy. I know I'm throwing in more than 3, but have something handy for the rest of the day so that you can reapply your SPF, because that's when the real damage happens, is when you have not taken a second to reapply. And I tend to use our Invincible setting powder to reapply, but we also have a great makeup setting mist. So, and then don't forget the eye area, bright-eyed SPF 40, which is like super important, and nobody wants lines and wrinkles around their eye area. Okay, let's see. How do we know when a sunscreen is effective in blocking UVA and UVB? So that's a great question, because I mentioned earlier, UVB burning rays are actually not the most damaging, not the most cancer causing. The UVA rays, which are out in any weather, cloudy, rainy, snowing, in all weather, and on all days, penetrate deeper into the skin and really are responsible for the cancer and the aging, called, I say, UVA aging rays. So broad spectrum is what you want to look for. In our products, we go a step further, and we rate for the Japanese rating system, which is PA plus plus plus. I think always look for at least 3 pluses after the PA rating, to make sure that they're actually broad spectrum protection. So let's see. I think we have time for a few more. I see somebody also asked about your scalp, and that is such a great question. We do have poof part protector, and I have blonde hair, and my scalp is actually pretty vulnerable to sun damage because I'm often outside. I love being outside, but we have, and my hair's sort of fine. And so when we developed Poof Part Protector, the number one goal for me in this product launch was I want to be able to apply it in the afternoon and not mess my hair up because product really weighs my hair down. And so Poof Part Protector sort of works like a dry shampoo, and you can like poof it into your part and it will protect your scalp from burning. And I think that's so very important for those afternoon hours that you're outside. Let's see. PA rating definitely correlates to broad spectrum protection. It is the ratio of UVA to UVB. It is a rating system that was developed in Japan, and who was well ahead of what the US was doing. I've always relied on the PA rating to really help the consumer understand how important it is to have truly broad spectrum and not just UVB protection. Without a PA rating on your products, you have no idea how wide the range is of protection from both UVA and UVB. Let's see, do you reapply? Yes, I reapply. I'm obsessed with SPF. I reapply multiple times through the day with our, for the most part, in fact, I have one sitting right here. I don't know if with my screensaver. I reapply with our Invincible setting powder. I have it here on my desk because I multiple times a day will use it to reapply my SPF. And Defense Refresh, for those of you that like makeup setting mists, is also a fantastic and easy way to reapply without messing up your makeup. That is when the damage happens, is when people do not reapply. And I see Lily also asked, should you be using SPF if you're staying at home, and how much should we be using? If you are near a window, the UVA rays come right through the window. You will not get a sunburn from UVA rays, but they come right through the window. They go deepest into the skin. They cause aging, they cause cancer, and the exposure from your computer screen and your phone, the blue light is definitely aging. And so absolutely, the key here is start out your morning. When you get out of the shower, build your wardrobe, pick your products, decide on it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, what Supergoop has done best is really help each and every one of you make this process a super luxurious process. So, and make it fun. I mean, that's what I've always felt, is that, you know, we're not going to scare people into changing their behavior. I think it has to be only from making it happen in a really fun way. And so body butter, glow oil, glow screen, all of these products are meant to just like, and I have been guilty of even applying body butter at night before I go to bed. That's how much I love this formula. Let's see, Wendy said, how does the sunscreen daily moisturizer feel on your skin? So I think you're talking about Super Screen. And there's two options. Super Screen is just this lightweight daily moisturizer. We've solved the problem of like merging a beautiful, lightweight, hydrating moisturizer with true, legit, broad spectrum protection. It feels amazing. And I think more hydrated skin is younger looking skin always. So on those days when you're going to be more active, play every day is totally the way to go. It has 80 minutes of water resistance, and it will not burn your eyes or itch your skin or irritate. And it just tees up those active days to be, you know, perfect for face and body. Okay, I'm going to get to these last two questions. I use Play daily. I do, you know, I don't wear Play daily. Well, I take that back. I have a pump of our Play by the back door, and every time I walk out the door, I take a few squirts and put it on my arms or hands. But I tend to use it only on those days when I'm going to be when I'm headed out the door to go for a run. It's water resistant, as I said, and so on the days when I'm not and I'm working and I'm in front of my computer, I lean on products like Super Screen. It has no water resistance, but it's truly beautiful and gives that additional blue light and pollution protection. Um, and all three of our, I see Kathleen also asked what do we recommend to combat the screen blue light? All three of our beauty base layers, which is unseen, sunscreen, matte screen, and glow screen, provide the protection from blue light. As does Daily Dose, which is our newest vitamin C product. And who doesn't love the benefits of vitamin C for more luminous skin and really fighting hyperpigmentation and all of the great benefits that vitamin C delivers, also protects from blue light. So many of our base products for your routine are going to combat blue light protection. So let's see. And then does Supergoop product have fragrance? Yeah, so we really work to no chemical fragrances. I'm adamant about no exposure to chemical fragrances. I think they itch and irritate the skin, and they're just not necessary. But we do often use essential oils to make the experience more pleasant and really something that I think scent is so personal and I think, as you mentioned, so many people have a good, I think, experience that ties back to scent. So that's always good. The first product to use again before the base layer. So Daily Dose Vitamin C SPF 40 is our newest launch. It is not on the market until I think December 28th. You've been seeing buzz in the press about it for quite a few days now. It is amazing. It is the most beautiful, milky, creamy, silky serum that you will ever experience. I mean this when I say it is my absolute favorite formula, and it's a game changer in terms of what it can do for the skin. So that's my first product these days that I use post cleansing and toning. I mentioned this earlier. I use the Tatcha essence, and then I go right to Daily Dose SPF 40. And then from there, I will use Super Screen, which is my 2-in-1 moisturizer. And then I'll use one of our beauty base layers on the weekends. It's usually unseen. On the days of the week, I use Glow Screen. Both of them are beautiful. It's just depends on what finish I feel like. And I think having options is a lot of fun. And then from there, I will go to using CC Screen in like areas where I want to just even out my skin tone. And then I use our resetting powder, and I use this again throughout the day multiple times. So I have a pretty good wardrobe of SPF, and I think that's what our brand is here for, is to give each and everybody many different options. Thinking constantly in product development about everyone's skin color and type and tone, and being inclusive of all the activities that everyone participates on a day-to-day basis. I think that I am being pinged that I am going over. I've so enjoyed this time with you guys, and I just can't wait to see what all comes out of this. I can be found on Instagram at Holly Thaggard. If you have more questions, of course, I'm here. I'm so grateful to everyone for showing up and for coming along with me on this journey. I see so many sweet comments in the chat box, and I just, I wanted to say, everybody have a great day. I'm going to get outside and enjoy our ranch with our two kiddos. They are now 13 and 16, and I think they want to go horseback riding. So we're going to get outside and put the SPF to the true test and of the hot Texas sun. So anyway, I again, reach out to me on Instagram, and I hope everybody has a fantastic afternoon. Thanks so much.